It is officially college time. I know a lot of you guys are literally moving into your dorm this week, so there are an array of different emotions that you can be feeling. Some of you all have a countdown on your phone, but you don't know if you're going to be excited or nervous when the time hits 0. Don't worry, I got you covered. These are 12 tips to help you flourish during your first week at college. Hi friends, I'm Brelynn, and this is Beauty and Brains, where I educate, equip, and inspire underrepresented minorities to not just survive, but thrive in higher education. 12 tips to survive your first week in college. Let's start off with number 1, move into your dorms in the morning time. I will never forget the heat of that Atlanta summer day, the day that I moved into college for the first time. Oh my goodness, it was so hot. And it doesn't matter how many free ice cream or lemonade or water that they provide you, it's going to be hot because you're likely moving in the middle of the summertime. When the season or the city is hot, it's just hot, but it will just be a little bit less hot if you try to move in the morning time. I know you probably don't want to wake up at 8 a.m. You probably don't want to try and get your whole family riled up and get everything packed in the car or even travel there the day before, but listen, trust me, it's going to be so hot, it's worth it. Also, pro tip, if you move in first out of your roommates, you may get to choose what side of the room you want to be in and just get a feel for things before your roommate is there. I moved in the afternoon, regretted it, and my roommate got to pick what side. So I didn't get the short end of the stick on that one, but I'm pretty sure when she was moving in, her family was probably like sitting on my side of the bed and they kind of just had the whole room to put everything down and move things in. Probably stagger you and your roommates moving in, especially if you're in a double dorm. So if you have a choice, choose the first time early in the morning because it's going to be hot. Also, here's a little bonus tip for those of you guys who are not super excited about your first dorm room. Make it a home away from home. This is literally going to be your stomping grounds for the next year. And you don't know how big of an impact having a place that you can call your own where you decorate. This is your space. Make it your home away from home. Whatever you feel like would be a great place to host friends, study, sleep, and live away from home for possibly your first time ever, do whatever it takes. I'm really embarrassed when I look back at my freshman dorm because it was so much pink, like it was ridiculous. But the funny thing behind that is that my mom thought that my favorite color was purple. So growing up, my whole room was purple, my bedding was purple. She still buys me purple things to this day. I know, Mom, when you're gonna get the hint. But it made me so excited to move away to college because I could finally decorate my dorm room however I wanted to. Of course, I was working at a job and I saved all my money to buy all of my college decorations. And you better believe anytime I saw pink in a Marshall's, in a Target, in a TJ Maxx, in a Big Lots, I picked up everything pink, and you could tell because my room, it looked like pink threw up everywhere. But I love my freshman dorm room. It really was a home away from home. Everybody loved coming to my room. They said it felt like home. I had a little carpet. I had a whole bunch of pillows in my bed. And that is what you want in your dorm room. You want to feel at home, you want to feel at peace, and you want to feel excited to come home at the end of the day. Tip number 2 is to unpack everything. Try to get it done within the first week. My move-in team was sick and tired of me because I had so much stuff. So they literally just left me to unpack everything. And I was very tempted to be like, I'll just do that later. But listen, move-in day is move-in day. Try to get everything moved in on move-in day because after that, things are going to get so hectic and busy that you really won't have time for it. Also, pro tip is if you bring too much stuff, like me, you can send some of that stuff home with your family if it doesn't fit in your dorm. Now, my dorm did have a storage unit. Now, this is where you were supposed to keep like maybe your winter clothes or like some suitcases. When I tell you that I had bins of clothes, shoes, purses, hats in that storage room, I had way too much stuff. That's because it took me until after I unpacked everything to realize I probably don't need my winter coats right now, and I'm not gonna keep them in this small little dorm room closet, so I had to put them in the basement down below. But people did steal my clothes. I'm almost positive of it. That way you can see for yourself, I don't have room for some of this stuff. Let me send it back home. Number 3, sticking with the dorm theme, make sure you introduce yourself to your roommate and all of your hallmates. I talked about this in a previous I talked about this in a previous college advice video, but you guys, I'm just such a big proponent of making friends on your hall. I think it can make a huge difference in your college experience, especially as a freshman, especially if you are in a different city or a different town or a different state or a different country. It's like how it felt really nice for your neighbors to knock on your doorbell and ask if you wanted to play outside. It feels really nice for your hallmates to knock on your door and ask if you want to go to breakfast or go to an event. And if they don't know who you are and they don't feel like you're approachable, you will miss out on some great friends and some great memories. So make sure you're not only introducing yourself to your roommate, but also to your hallmates. And make sure you get everyone's number. Oh my goodness, this is my biggest piece of advice, honestly, for like your first week moving into college. Your roommate, you're automatically going to get their number. But the girl next door, if you get locked out, your RA's number, the person above you who, just in case, you never know. It's really easy and not as awkward as you think when you're first moving into college to ask for people's number. Like, oh, hey, let me get your number. Let me keep up in contact with you. You may never use their number ever again, or you will like 3 years later and you realize, wow, I actually got this number like the first day that I met this person years ago. It's really easy to build your network, your friends, and your new family during that first week. So don't be shy, don't be afraid. Ask for people's numbers as soon as you meet them during that first week of college. My next piece of advice is to go to everything, okay? You are new. You need to figure out what you like, and you won't know about it if you don't put yourself out there. Go to every new student orientation event. Go to every welcome back jam, especially if it's an event for freshmen. That's the best way to meet people. Again, if you're really shy and you're new to the area and you don't know anybody, this is the best time to meet people, is during that first week of college. So put yourself out there, get to know people, grab their numbers, and if big crowds make you really nervous and uncomfortable, try going with one other person like your roommate or your hallmate, and then meeting one other person there, grabbing their number, and then meeting up with them later on in a smaller setting. Also, don't forget to go to informational sessions for activities and clubs. These may seem really boring. This is how you get involved on campus, and that's the best way to feel like you're a part of the community and to make friends. Tip number 5 is remember you're there for school, okay? So set yourself up for success before school. College is so much different than high school, definitely middle school and elementary school and all of the things that you've done before. This is where you're actually on your own for the first time. You need to go into the semester focused and organized. It's really easy to get wound up in the living away from home and being in a new city and all the campus activities and meeting new friends, but don't forget you're there in college for school. Make sure you have access to everything you need to online. Just like how in high school you may have gone back to school shopping, making sure you got a new backpack, a new planner, and new binders. If that's what you're going to do in college, make sure you still do that. You may need the same or different materials to be successful during the school part of college. I believe for the first year and a half, I stuck with doing everything on paper. So I got different notebooks and binders, different highlighters and sticky notes, and an actual physical planner. And then I think about my end of sophomore, junior year, I switched over to doing everything on my laptop. And then once I got to my graduate program, I got an iPad, and now I kind of use both. And it's okay to switch things up as you go along, but try and stay organized in the beginning in regards to where you're going to keep different syllabi, where you're going to hold loose papers that your professor gives you during class. If they give you back your assignments or your exams, where you're going to hold all those different things. Are you going to have a file cabinet? Are you going to scan things into your laptop? Like, just try and get a gist on how you're going to stay organized once school actually gets started. You don't want to wait until you have all these papers and you realize like, okay, this is different. This is new. It's a big transition now when you can bring your laptop and your iPad and your phone and anything else that you want to class, because you're in college. It's a little bit different, so get a hang of it before classes start. So my school did offer college tours during new student orientation, and I highly recommend that if your school does, you should take advantage of it. One, you probably don't know where you're going. Even if you took a tour before you committed to the school, it's way different when you actually live there. You just start to see the buildings in a different way, knowing that I could actually have a math class in this building, and this is where I live on campus. How far is that? How do I get there? Especially if your campus is really big and you have to take a bus somewhere. I highly recommend you taking a campus tour during your first days while you're there on campus, because some parts of the campus you will not see. You don't explore for it yourself, especially if you don't live on that side of campus or you're not in that major. And you can be missing out on some really cool things like hidden libraries or an extra ice cream shop. You never know. College campuses are interesting. There are so many different hidden things across campus. In addition to that, please make sure to find your classes before school start. My mom used to do this to me every single year before before high school and middle school, and I would still end up being lost on the first day of classes. It's a little bit different during college, and it's like this running joke where if you see somebody lost in the hallway after normal class time starts in college, like they're probably a freshman, help them out. You don't want to be that person who's like late to class. Like, you want to be able to get there early, sit down, get your bearings for things, set yourself up, instead of like walking in 10 minutes late and kind of like, I'm sorry, I'm new, I couldn't find the room. It happens, but you just don't want to be that person. So if you can beforehand, once you get your schedule, go to each, not just building, but you need to see, okay, how far does it take for me to get to my dorm room or the previous classroom that I will be in to this new classroom, and where exactly is room 501? Because you may think 501 is next to 500, but it's not. It's on the 3rd floor next to 320, because stuff is weird like that, and you don't want to have to figure that out on the first day of classes. I also talked about this in my previous video, but make sure you wait. I'm sorry, this is just my opinion, but I think that you should wait to buy your textbooks until after your first day of classes. Like, don't buy all your textbooks before classes. You may think they're going to sell out. They won't. You'll be okay. You'll figure it out. You can rent it from the library for the first week if you really, really need the textbook and it sells out, but you will not have to buy all of your textbooks. You won't have to buy them all. And if you do it before you go to classes, you will waste your money. And sometimes, most of the times, you can find your textbook free online. Link down below. You're welcome. I'm really big on having a routine, and I remember when it finally clicked to me that I had like a new routine in college, because I had my favorite shower. Everybody doesn't have to experience the life of community bathrooms, but if you do, then you know. There was a specific shower that I personally like to go to, and there was a specific time in the morning that it was always open. So it was up to me to wake up on time in order to get that specific shower when the water would be hot, and I felt like home. Like, I would feel a little bit like kind of itchy, and just I didn't feel as comfortable if I had to take a shower in a different shower, and it would kind of just throw off my whole day. Not that big of a deal, but little things matter. So try and get into your routine of things when you're moving into this new space of yours. What time do you like to wake up? Are the bathrooms going to be really busy at 7 a.m. or is nobody up and that's the perfect time for you? Do you like to blast music in there, and is there too many people at 9 a.m.? Do you need to wait until 9:30? What do you like to eat in the caf? Is breakfast the best time to go, or is it best to just skip it all together? I know for me, I really enjoyed getting an omelet. I literally figured it out like my sophomore year, and I got it like every single morning up until I graduated, even when I didn't have a meal plan. Those omelets were great because they would make it on the spot, and if you got there early, there wouldn't even be a long line. These were like top tier omelets they would make in the cafeteria. Once I figured it out, I stuck with it. So now you have your shower, your breakfast, what you like to wear. Are you going to be taking the bus, or are you going to be walking to your classes? What bus do you like to take? Is the one that comes exactly at the perfect time a little bit smelly and crowded? Is it better to take the one that's a little bit earlier, maybe a little bit later? This is how you find your routine. Also, I talk about this a lot, but you guys, those gym memberships, you get free gym memberships when you are in college. Take advantage of it. Do you like to go early in the morning when nobody's there? Do you like to go to classes? Do you need to pack gym clothes? That way you can go to your favorite gym class after your biology class. Try to make note about different things of your experience that you enjoy, and then create your own routine out of it. But most importantly, Freshman 15 is real. Please take advantage of your recreation center at your gym and go to those free gym classes, or lift some weights, or run on the treadmill, or do whatever you need to do, but don't negate the gym, okay? Include that in your routine. Include it early on. That way you never will get behind. Okay, my next tip is for us first generation college students, whoop whoop, and we didn't know what was going on. I mean, to be told what classes you're taking by your advisor in high school, and then just flip that into what do you want to take? Like, these are kind of what we think, but you can choose what classes you want to take. It was a big deal for me, and I made a lot of mistakes because I didn't know who to talk to and I didn't know who to listen to. My advisor was like, I recommend taking these classes. When it opens up, click yes. And some classes I got and some classes I didn't, and I just kind of figured it out. And I mean, hey, I graduated, so it didn't work out too bad, but there's definitely some mistakes that I made my freshman year, like taking computer science as a freshman my first semester. Stupid. I wish that I would have talked to an upperclassman who was my major before even seeing my advisor. That way they could really tell me, yeah, they see that you can take computer science your freshman year, but honestly don't do it because you need to get a bearings of your classes, before you jump into a class like that. Take time before you sit down with your advisor to research the kind of classes that you need to be taking your freshman year all the way up to your senior year, and then go even further doing research. Who are the different professors? What options do I have? What times work best for me? I just don't want to take the class that everybody's taking if I'm not a morning person, or I don't want to take classes past 6 p.m. I don't care if this is the easy professor. Maybe you care, maybe you don't, but do your research instead of just listening to what everybody tells you to do, because there's going to be so many things going on. You're going to be so confused. Sometimes you just want to be like, can somebody just do it for me? But no. You need to do it for yourself because you know what's best for you. And if you haven't heard about it yet, ratemyprofessor.com. Thank me later. On that same note, if you're like me and you're going to a completely new school in a new city, in a new state where you know nobody, you don't have any legacy there, find an upperclassman to be your guiding light. Whether that's an RA or just an older sister or brother that you find somebody who you can ask questions and who can genuinely give you answers. Don't try and be a big hero and figure it out yourself, because there are other people who are receiving help. Their big sister or big brother or their aunt or their cousin or their mom and their dad have been to the school before you and are giving them advice. So take advice from the people who are now in your network. Find somebody who you can stick with and ask questions. It will help you out in the long run. Also, again, be intentional about building your network. Have at least, and I'm talking about more than 3, at least one person in each class. If you have a question, if you need an accountability partner, or just a familiar face, it's really nice to, again, start building out your network early on. Every class that you're in, try to get at least 3 to 5 people's contact numbers, their name, their number, and their email. That way you can ask them questions when the time comes. Rewinding a little bit, going back to your family being there with you when you're moving in, if your school doesn't already have an event planned for you to kind of like say goodbye to your family, plan one yourself. Those first few weeks are going to be so busy. You're going to be so excited to move into the new that sometimes you kind of forget to say goodbye to the old. Like, have some time with your family, whether it be going to dinner one last time, going to breakfast, or, just do something that's not as stressful or sad, because that week can just be a lot of different emotions, and you want to remember your family on a good note. That way when you call them, it's not like, I'm still mad at you because you didn't want to help me move in my stuff and I was stressed out. Like, try and have a moment with your family before saying goodbye with them and before they leave, and you don't see them until maybe Thanksgiving, maybe Christmas. I mean, it's gonna go by like that, but also you always want to leave on good terms with your family. Last tip is to say yes. Say yes to everything out of your comfort zone. Like, this is the time. You're now a college student. I'm so excited for you. There are going to be some things that you would have never thought that you would do. Some places you never thought you would go. Keep it cute. Keep it fresh. Keep it legal. Okay, but have some fun. If you normally don't go out during the weekdays, it's orientation. Like, just have some fun. Say yes to things that you normally wouldn't say yes to. You never know how these different experiences will become memories. Stay safe and take pictures while doing it. You don't got to post everything, okay? But sometimes just capture the memories. That's one of the best things that I ever could have done, was I would just say yes to anything, and I created some amazing memories with some amazing people because of it. I hope you guys enjoy your first couple of weeks in college. You're gonna have so much fun. I'm so excited for you guys. And if you want any more advice videos, leave them in the comments down below and I will be sure to make them for you. Live each day to the fullest, because you only live once, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.